So we're here in sunny Clearwater, Florida at the Association of Outdoor Lighting Professionals. I'm here with Chris Apfelstadt, Apfelstadt I call him.
Close, yeah.
Chris and I are great friends. We've been doing lighting together for a number of years, and we kind of have a tradition to get awards together and get our photo at the end. But you are the reigning king. 2 years straight, #1 project in North America, a feat that has never been done. This is one of the hardest lighting competitions really out there, and Chris is a back-to-back champion. So such an honor. I've been watching Chris grow in his career and in lighting design. But let's talk a little bit about the projects you turned in. What did it start off of? What did you look at when you came to the project? What inspired you on it? And was it something right away that you thought this might be a national or a North American championship project?
Yeah, it's funny, Pat. So this year we entered into 2 different categories. And, you know, last year our project won best in show, but it was also in the extra large category.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can go, man, you working for a billionaire with unlimited resources, beautiful garden, like, you know, how could you not win with that?
Yep.
And so I was excited to enter into the small residential category. This is 25 fixtures or less.
Yep.
Because anyone can do that.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a normal job.
Yeah, that's a normal job all around the country. And it's funny because this client called me and he said he just wanted bistro lights replaced. He had Home Depot bistro lights on his yard. And I said, Dr. Anderson, we can give you bistro lights, but if you trust me, if you let me light your backyard properly, you're going to love it.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, we already have lighting. It's really good. I go, no, it is not good.
It's not good.
And it wasn't. And, and he goes, no, it looks beautiful. I go, I know you think that, but trust me, like I wouldn't tell you how to deliver a baby because that's what he's one of the best at in that world. I go, if you trust me, like if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back.
Yeah.
But let us design this. And so he did. But I knew right away walking into that home that this is potentially an award-winning project just before we even put a light on the ground.
Yeah. And what made it that way? What was it that you saw? I know the landscaping was beautiful. What did you see that you said, you know, what was a vision in your mind when you started it?
Yeah, the canvas is obviously a really important factor in any, you know, award-winning project. If it's ugly and doesn't look good, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
Right. If it's a new build home with no mature trees, this is a retired couple that spends all of their free time in their gardens. Yeah. And it also had the elements that allowed to light it the right way that I wanted to. So sometimes you go, hey, we want to downlight this driveway.
Yeah.
There's nothing to attach a downlight to.
Yep.
And other than, you know, putting up ugly poles, like you have to work with what you have.
Yeah.
And so there's very good symmetry on this garden. And there were trees that we could uplight, but also using the SL12s, the Sterling, well, the 13s, the downlight to really show off all their hard work in their garden and allow it to be celebrated and appreciated at night instead of just during the day.
And what did you have to do? You did the design. Were they shocked at the price?
I think so, yeah. Because I mean, considering, I know they called for bistro lights.
Yeah.
They were expecting to spend maybe $1,500 on a project.
Yeah.
And it turned into a $12,000 project.
Yeah.
But I believe that the passion's what helped convince them what this could be, you know. And it's a small area. It's a very intimate space.
Yep.
And it's fun to work in big, large, multi-acre, you know, estates. But that's not the normal everyday thing that you deal with. And so to be able to work in this really intimate space and help it feel the same way it does during the day, help it feel like that at night. And these guys entertain. They're really involved in politics. I met Marco Rubio at their house.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, randomly. And they have fundraisers and all kinds of people over and a big family. And they spend time in that backyard. And when we did the reveal, they said that it changed their lives. And
really?
Like, yeah. And the wife was speechless.
Yeah.
She literally didn't speak. She was just so happy. And so, you know, I knew right away, man, we got to get this photographed professionally. Like that was the one I really was hoping for the most this year to get that recognition because my guys did a great job and we got a really happy client.
I was talking with Jim Ply today, and one thing we were discussing is as a lighting designer, we're guiding the homeowner, the customer's eye. So we direct them what they should see, and then we hide with darkness what we don't want them to see. What techniques did you use? Anything different or anything unusual on this job that was something out of the ordinary?
I would say no, nothing was out of the ordinary. Everything I wanted to do, I was able to do based upon the environment. And I learned from Jan speaking at maybe at AOLP or maybe at your event years ago that, I asked her, hey, what layer is the first layer? And she said, if I can light from above, if I can downlight, that's where I want to look at first for every project. And, and I'm trying to learn from the best always. And I adopt that. And a lot of people would look at this and not think to light from above.
Yeah.
And so that really helped. And the celebrity oftentimes in a home is the trees, the foliage. And the trees are nice here, but the celebrity is on the ground. It's the ground cover. It's these beautiful ferns and flowering plants and annuals that they work on so hard. And so we wanted to evenly light that area, a couple little garden sculptures, and then just make it feel peaceful. Obviously, safety is really important to get from the back of the house here and see out through to the pool. But yeah, so it's nothing crazy or unusual. But
just easy stuff.
Yeah, it very much let me do what we want to do.
Now, you haven't been in lighting. Like a lot of times we talk to the lighting designers here and they're 20 years, 30 years. You're newer in the industry, quote unquote, like 5 years, maybe 6 years?
This is our fifth year.
Fifth year.
In landscape life.
So how did you go so quickly? What would you say is like, what made that catalyst happen that you were able to go from like not in the industry to 5 years later being a back-to-back champion? That's like a phenom. Like obviously everything I know you've done at a very high level, but what were the things that really allowed you to progress quickly for people just like getting started or wanting to get to your level?
Any of our progression, it's a very simple answer. It's mentors and learning. And I love this industry. Even within the world of outdoor lighting, specifically landscape lighting, people are so open and willing. And I did Christmas lights for 20 years now. So I've been in that game for a long time. And when we decided we're going to try landscape lighting, I knew nothing. I have no knowledge of how to do this. And I started researching and asking people online, who are the best? Who are some guys you really respect in the industry? And I got Nels Peterson, I got James Selecki, and I reached out to those guys and hey, I'm Chris. I'm really excited to have you as my mentor. I appreciate it. They're like, what? Who are you? And then I learned from those guys. And then Chris Mitchell, I met at the very first lighting event. Didn't know a single person there. I met Chris, I heard him speak, and a couple things he said I adopted, and then that helped me land my first 80 fixture project. And being part of Ryan Lee's group and learning from him and learning from the people that are in that group. So any shortcut that I've had has always been through knowledge from people that are willing to answer the questions, and then me being willing to ask the questions and spend time with them. And Nels, introduced me to Sterling and introduced me to you. Anywhere you want to go, people have been there before, and you go find those guys and learn from them. And so I'm so grateful and blessed to be able to spend time with awesome designers and then have a good team, at home to implement
your vision. And you're one of the few. You and I both have spent time in Greece. You met with Alpha Theoria, who's my favorite designer currently. Talk about those people that are the giants in the industry. Who is it that really inspires you? Is she one of those people, Jan?
Take away the Sterling Summit, and I'm losing half the contact with some people that I admire the most. So that's really cool. And you guys put on a great event, and I know you're not making money on that event, but it's awesome to be able to meet these people. And I'd never heard of Eleftheria before, And the first time she spoke via Zoom, and I've said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it again. Her line when she said that light without shadows was like music without pauses. And I got the chills. And I come from a family, and both my parents are PhDs in music. And music's important to me. I love it. And I love that the symbology there and how that works. And I was like, man, that's awesome. And seeing some of the work
can't just be
it was imagine a song that's man, like that's a horrible song. Right. It's the pauses, it's the variation that make it pretty. And so I took that to heart and then reached out to her. And then when she got to come to the next year, come to the event, and I got to sit and have dinner with her, and it wasn't an accident. Like I saw where she sat down, and I went
you followed.
I put my notebook in the chair next to her, and I'm like, man, I get to have dinner with one of the best in the world. The same thing with Jan. I first met Jan Moyer, and in the North America side, she wrote the books, right, and very well respected, incredible career. And to have the opportunity to sit down and talk to her and pick her brain, you can't beat that. So then my wife and I wanted to go to Greece. I've wanted to go my whole life. And then Eleftheria met us and we sat and had a 4-hour dinner.
Yeah.
And she's so open and so humble and she's a genius.
Yeah.
And then we got to watch the sunset as we ate dinner over the Acropolis that she lit and see her lights all turn on.
Yeah.
And there was a concert going on there. And then, we got a super secret illegal tour behind the scenes.
Yeah. Something we don't talk about.
Yeah. All right, so we won't talk about that.
Yeah.
To be able to spend time with her and see her work up close, and it was really cool.
And we're going.
Thank you for that opportunity.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen without you.
And we're going back to Greece again. You're bringing your wife, so.
Yeah, I missed my first Sterling Summit last year, and I cried at my house. I was bummed. I was like, no matter what, I'm going next year, and especially if you're going to Greece. So can't wait to go back. And my Greek's pretty good still. So.
Good.
Yeah.
Better than mine, that's for sure.
Around.
Yeah. Now you have the opportunity to use any product out there. Obviously on your largest project, Chris Mitchell was using our product. Nels was working for us and came out and worked with you. But what are the things that you found that have kept you using our product? Or what have you found that set it apart? Because there's a lot of different companies out there. Obviously Sterling is one of them. What have you found that has made Sterling your choice of fixtures or luminaires to work with?
It's been a journey. And I think that anyone who is starting in landscape lighting, you don't know very much.
Yeah.
And there's some reason that you use what you start with. And for me, a woman who had a distributorship, she taught me lighting design. In fact, she did my lighting design for me. Right. And I present it as if I thought of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then I just used whatever product she told me that she was selling. And so I started with a couple products, and to me, they were the best in the world because they're the best I've ever used.
Yeah, that you've seen.
I didn't know any different.
Yep.
And Nels reached out and sent me a few fixtures. And I, you can feel the difference the first time you hold a fixture in your hand.
Yeah.
And my clients feel that difference too. I have a crappiest, worst Home Depot fixture you can have.
Yeah.
And I go, here, check this out, and I'll check this out. And
Here's a Pro
drop
Trader.
it,
Yeah.
And they go, whoa.
That could be a weapon.
Yeah. So you could just feel the build quality.
Yeah.
But what really matters to me is the output. And that's something that the better you get, the more experience you have, the more you learn what to look for. But the CRI makes a difference.
It does.
And
because there's a lot of people say you can't see a difference. You say,
I see a difference.
Yeah.
There's a reason that all of the museums around the world use a very high CRI to light the Picassos and the Rembrandts. Right, because they want it to look as realistic as the artist intended. We're lighting stuff that the artist is God.
Yeah.
Right, but I want it to look as real as it can and not be skewed by colored light. You know?
Missing the hues in the middle.
And so the build quality, the output to me is the biggest difference. And I do play it around. Right, I love Sterling, but I'm also always open.
Yeah.
Right, and when new products come out or new manufacturers, I test. I'm looking. Because my number one goal is to give the best options to my clients, right? I'm loyal and I appreciate everything that Sterling Lighting has done. But if you suddenly suck, then I'm going to use.
You're done.
Yeah, I'm going to use a better product. But you haven't, right? It continues to do what we need, and then another piece of that comes down to the customer service side.
Yeah.
And having a manufacturer where the owner, right, you and Damien answer my phone call, give advice. If there's ever a problem, if there's ever an issue with a fixture, I send it, I get sent back right away. And I love your story, the fact that you weren't happy with other manufacturers that weren't treating you right.
Yeah.
And so he said, I'm going to do this myself. And so because of that, you treat us right, right? And so that goes a long way, just the way that I want to serve my clients and answer the phone and give them red carpet, white glove service from beginning to end and after. So having that from a manufacturer makes a big difference for me. And that's why I continue to use, Sterling Lighting wherever it's appropriate for the situation.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Always love that. Now, the final question is, the Barnes & Wolf Trap, the project that was the runner-up. It was done by me. Did you feel a little bad when you beat me out to become the champion? So
last year, Patrick, I dreamed of maybe having a run at Best in Show.
Yeah.
It's a very special project.
Yeah.
And beautifully photographed. And I was like, I hope we win our category. We could be a top 3, maybe. It'd be really cool. This year, that wasn't even in my mind. I had no expectation. I you know, our project, our extra large project, and
That was special.
and it wouldn't Best in Show.
Yep.
But I was very surprised. There's some great projects in the running, and it's felt good because Nels had helped with the really big project, and he's a giant in the industry and been around a long time, and I give him a bunch of credit for that work. It felt pretty cool.
Good to get it on your own.
Only have my own name on that this time too.
Yeah.
To say, hey, it's not just because Nels helped me, guys. Like I can do cool stuff on my own. I'm getting better and better at this. I never thought about competing against you or anyone else for Best in Show. So I was really honored and blessed and grateful to my team and to the photographer. And I wasn't trying to be competitive.
But it is always good to win.
I would not have lost any sleep kicking your ass.
Yeah.
I hope to do so again next year.
Yeah. Obviously, Michael Jordan, if you ever watched him after he got his third, what did he do? He held up the fourth finger, the fifth finger. You already ready to, you have the property in mind for next year's national championship design, or?
We go one at a time. I withheld one this year.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty good and pretty cool. There's so many amazing designers. I'm doing this a lot longer than me and have really cool projects. And so if I never win another award, I feel really blessed.
You got back to back.
Yeah. So, but it feels really cool. And I'm, none of it's possible without my team that did the work. Right. And so I go 1 year at a time.
Yep.
So if we get something that's really cool, but and I tell clients, hey, we've won multiple international lighting design awards.
Yep.
And I know walking through your yard that this could be in contention.
Yeah.
Right. If you trust me. And so it's fun. And I love this industry association. There's no agenda. We're just trying to advance the growth of outdoor lighting. And I know from our conversations that you and Sterling feel the same way. If Sterling's not the right fit for a project, you're not going to be mad at me, right? But you are probably going to go into your laboratory and invent one that's the right fit for next time. And I got to see that evolution, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, if you're in Columbus, Ohio, and you want the very best in landscape lighting, the very best back-to-back national champion lighting design, and you would like your property to be considered or to be actually looked by one of the best lighting designers out there. This is Chris. He's your go-to guy. So really recommend him. But thank you, Chris, for everything. Congratulations.
Thanks, Pat. Appreciate all of your hard work for the industry. And keep making great product and awesome service. And we'll keep using your stuff. And
and go to Greece.
I'm a fanboy. Yeah. I can't wait to go to Greece. Yasso, let's have some fun next summer.
Yep. Sounds great.
Cool.
Thank you.